Let me get the recording going. And hang on just a second. Let me mute everybody. And I will unmute you guys. Okay, so hello everybody, and welcome to our call. I feel a little disconnected from my team the last few days because I had a really bad stomach bug, and so I have not been answering messages. I have not been doing anything but just recovering from that. So it's very weird after the intense time we had last week of becoming an Emerald team. So it's very exciting. But tonight I am thrilled because we have two of our favorite people on here. We have Tim and Michelle Thomas, and I know a lot of us watch your Monday night calls, Rock the Pink, and these guys, for those who haven't watched it, because I know we have newbies getting on here, they do a call every Monday night, and they have some of like the top leaders from our company come in and just share like their story on how they got started with this and how they really felt like they were successful in this and what they did and what it's done for their families. And it's just an amazing tool. We have it to learn from, and then it's also something that we can share with our teams. And so the thing I love about Plexus is regardless of the fact that like we're not on their team, they don't benefit by doing this call for us. They just wanted to do this just because they're sweet people, and I asked and they're like, sure. And so we've had to do some rescheduling because husbands and wives have different calendars, and sometimes they don't like line up correctly. But yes, but we are so thankful you guys are on here. I'm so excited. So you guys just take it away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you.
I was going to say, that's so awesome.
With my team, they were crazy at the end of last week. Well, like really all of last month. They were awesome. So everybody had success. I think we had 10 rank ups last month.
Wow.
Well, congratulations to your entire team, all of you guys. You must be very proud to be a part of that team, and what you guys are doing is obviously huge right now. That's awesome.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right? I know that, you could go out there and recruit 300 people, get to Emerald by yourself, but it's better doing it as a team. You know what I mean? Like that's what this is all about. Like just seeing people succeed. So it's, oh my gosh, it's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And who wants to go recruit 300 people by yourself anyway, right?
No, absolutely not. That's not the way this works. And actually, okay, so are we supposed to just go? Did you say?
Yeah, go girl. Yep.
Okay. We usually have people like on our show on Monday night, but then I get on other people's calls and I'm like awkward and like weird. So
well, I might have questions for you at the end that I'm just going to surprise you with. So I don't know what they are yet. So it'll be a surprise to me too, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we like that. And I love putting people on the spot. So I don't mind being put on the spot at all. So I know that I guess we're going to just share a little bit of our story, but what we really want to share is some of our business tips. Things have been burning on our heart, things that we teach people and on our team all the time. So that's what we really want to talk about. You can go watch our Diamond documentary or something like that to listen most of our story. But I will say that I'm a Diamond ambassador, and
I'm an Emerald ambassador.
And so we're a double jewel income, double jewel ranking couple in Plexus. And for anybody that's new or anyone that's not new, that is an incredible feat. And it's also a dream. I say Plexus is a dream we never dreamed, because like we had no idea that financial freedom would come in the form of a pink drink. I mean, there's just no one could have ever guessed, like you would have never imagined network marketing. We never could imagine that. So do you want me to tell a little bit of my story?
Go for it, Dave.
Okay, we didn't really figure out this part. We both just have things to talk about on the training end of it. And Tim told me not to get real preachy and long with our testimony. So
go for it, girl.
Okay, so 3.5 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom. And basically, my friend, I was a stay-at-home mom, but I had worked corporate for a lot of years. But we had gotten to the point where Tim was like, you need to be at home with the kids. And anyways, so we prayed about it. I quit my job. And financially, I don't know, for many of you, if you've ever went from a 2-income family to just a 1-income family, it's really stressful. And I was making a significant income when I quit. I was making almost 6 figures, and we really took a leap of faith. And we took a lot of prayer, and I quit my job.
That was 5 years ago that happened. Baby.
Yes, that was 5 years. Well, yes, it was 5 years. Anyways, so 5 years ago, I quit my job. And then I took on babysitting. Tim took on a second job. We were just trying to, make ends meet. And then Tim ends up finding a job in Florida. And so we ended up moving our family to Florida just for him to be able to make enough money to pay the bills, so just relieve some stress. Well, when we were in Florida, I get a call from my best friend, Sonia Dudley. I don't know if anybody knows who that is in Plexus. But anyway, Sonia Dudley, little country bumpkin girlfriend that I had in Nashville, she called and said, I'm doing this thing called Plexus. And the basic gist was I said I would never join her. I never want to do network marketing. I never want to be that person that tries to sell to my friends and family. But we watched her for 3 months. I would tell Tim about all of her stories and the things that she was posting on social media, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And I was bothered by how much she was posting on Facebook. And I'm like, if she posts one more thing, I'm going to block her. I really would have never blocked her, but I was actually annoyed by it. And 3 months in, she posted that she was able to quit her full-time job and go full-time Plexus. And so here I am, her skeptic friend, and she ends up tagging me in that post. And so she tags me in that post. My sister sees that post and calls me and says, hey, tell me a little bit more about Plexus, this thing that your friend is doing. And so I end up joining at that point because my sister wanted to do the business. And so I asked Tim, I said, Tim, do you think I could do this? I'll let him share, our business story, testimony. But anyways, so I said, do you think that I could do this? And he goes, I know that you could do it, but he said, you do need to make $50 a month. So he put a challenge out there that I had to make $50 a month. And so I ended up joining Plexus basically with nothing bigger in mind than to make $50 a month. Actually, I was scared to death, didn't think I could make $50 a month. And so I joined my friend, and my sister joined me, and I just treated it like a business. And about a year later, I went to Emerald. And then, 2.5 years, I went to Diamond. But anyways, the truth is that the truth is that Plexus, I was like a true skeptic when I came to Plexus. But I really was not expecting the products to do what they did for our family, which is what caused this business to really, really explode. Plexus was a true godsend for us.
Yeah. So basically, she started in on the business, and I was a huge skeptic. I told her we were never going to do network marketing. That was before she told Sonia that she would never join her. I said we'll never do network marketing, and so it was hard to go back on that. But I'm definitely glad that I did, because it changed everything for us. And I'm sorry, Ethan. Did you need something, buddy? Love you. Good night.
Oh my gosh.
My son was standing over here trying to get our attention. So it changed everything for us, but really it was because we wanted to try the products. That was my main thing. I wanted Michelle to be able to try the products. She wanted to be able to try the products. So I wanted that to be okay. But the reality was we didn't have a lot of extra money. We didn't have any extra money, honestly. And so it was hard. It was a hard decision to make. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who come to Plexus and they think that it costs too much money, and so they don't do it. And I just think about us, and if that had been our decision, where we would be right now. Totally different life. Yeah. Totally different than what we have right now.
Yeah.
And so whenever somebody tells me that, I just tell them my story. I just tell them, I was there too. The reality is Plexus doesn't cost a whole lot compared to a lot of other companies, and other products, but I understand what people are saying when they think about that extra expense, because they're only thinking without a dream. They're not thinking with anything but their current situation, with zero belief when they say that sort of a thing. And it's our job to try to show people why they should believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what Sonia did for us and helped us be able to see it. The business grew because Michelle was very consistent. I joined up to try to just be of help. And, for several months there, I was just backing her really. And she was really working the business really hard by herself. And then as time progressed, we began to see the opportunity for me to join as like full time. And so we made that happen and never looked back. And we've had our ups and downs. Listen, if you're in this business for now 3.5 years, there's been more than one bump. I promise you.
Yeah.
Okay. There's been more than one bump. The back office was just one bump out of when you're going to be in any business, especially in the beginning of a company. We're still in the beginning, guys. So you're going to have bumps in the road. And so you have to have this thing inside of you that isn't going to let anything stop you. And I'm thankful that we saw that, and we saw that Plexus was worth us putting our full effort behind and not quitting. And so we've just kept right on going, and that's also produced something. It's been worth it. And so that's kind of what we want to talk about tonight. Yeah. So now I'm an Emerald ambassador. Michelle is a Diamond ambassador, and I'm working my way towards Sapphire. And I'm not stopping. I'm going to Diamond. I am going beyond. So I guess we can start from there. That's kind of our jumping point.
And like for us, like our situation, not everybody, like we went through times and seasons in our life where we had made a good income. And then we took that leap of faith, and I was going to stay at home, and we were really financially super strapped when we started Plexus. So everybody gets into Plexus for different reasons. But when I joined Plexus, I saw the potential, the financial opportunity. I saw I dug into that compensation plan and figured out logistics. I was teaching my upline about this compensation plan. I was show me the money. And it wasn't it would have never worked if the products wouldn't have completely changed our life. So I didn't have to, that was a done deal. Okay, the products work, done. Show me the money. I can figure this out. And so I think that was a big key to success.
Let me say something on that too. Because sometimes people, I want to say something on that, because the products did work for us.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are looking for this ghost of a result, and they're never really happy because they're afraid of jumping into the opportunity, and they use the result that they're supposedly looking for as an excuse not to do the business. Or they're afraid of themselves not being successful, so they'll never really do anything. So don't let yourself chase a ghost when it comes to results. How many testimonies do you need to see? And I'm not even saying for yourself. I mean, do you not believe? And I have no idea what your beliefs are. But
we don't even know who we're talking to right now.
Do you not believe the people that are telling the stories? That's the question. Are you so skeptical, and maybe I'm talking to somebody that you know right now, you can think about this. Are you so skeptical that you won't even believe your best friend when they tell you what it's doing for them? Because how many results, how many times do you have to see this? I mean, is 10, 15 stories enough? Because I'll tell you what, when the first people who started as ambassadors in Plexus started, they didn't have anything to go on. They had nothing to go on. They had belief. And they said, they actually said, what if? What if it works? And lo and behold, it did. And so don't at this point, the results are there. This is a company worth representing. The question is, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We kind of told our story in super fast motion, because what we really want to talk about is a few points we have. So we're going to jump into the points about that's just what we love to do, is just try to teach and train our teams and inspire them to go beyond what they currently think, because we all know that our mind is our biggest weapon in this business. And so you want to go first?
Sure.
You want to go? Okay. So I'll let Tim go first,
back and forth.
And we'll go back and forth.
All right.
That sounds good.
All right. So this was something that somebody said to me the other day, a kind of a revelation that they had. And I've kind of expounded on it because I realized how real it was, how good it was. So the part of it that I was just kind of blown away by was the fact that they recognized that they needed to take action. But what I began to see is that the scariest monster that any of us face, the scariest monster that any person will ever encounter, it's worse than the monsters in movies. In fact, I think that monsters in movies, you guys might think about this, I'm going real deep here. Monsters in movies.
Stay with them, try to.
Okay. That is actually a very deep thing that actually might represent our dead dreams. The things that are inside of us, I think that's the scariest monster there is your personal dead dreams, because you know it's like a thing inside of you that you know should be alive, but it's dead, and you're running from it. You're scared of that thing. It's been chasing after you your whole life, and you're afraid to turn around and look at it because you know it's dead. And the reason why it's dead, do you know why it's dead? Because you're not taking any action towards it. You're not taking any action to make it happen, to make it work. So when we sit around and we talk about, oh, I want to be an emerald, or I want to go to Hawaii, or it might be other things. There could be things that you want to accomplish in life. When you sit around and talk about them, but you're not taking any action towards them, your mind says that doesn't work. Your mind actually will tell you that doesn't work. And so it will scare the life out of you. It will scare you. But as soon as you begin to take action, all of a sudden your dream comes alive. And it starts to take form. It starts to take form inside of you and create a little bit of motivation. And out of that motivation, you produce something outwardly. And when your mind sees that thing produced outwardly, it lets you dream a little bit more, and the dream starts to get clearer. And then you start to take more action towards that because you feel that motivation that comes with that clearer dream. And it starts to build more and more and more until you actually realize the full potential of that dream, till it's actually gone from the realm inside of your head to the realm out in front of you, where you actually are living it. So the thing that is required to make a dream happen, you can begin to dream now, as immediate as you take action towards your dream. As immediate as you begin working towards it, the harder you work towards it, the bigger that dream will get, the more real you will believe it is, because your mind will allow it. Your mind is an amazing tool, because it works. And sometimes it will work against you and what you want if it knows that you're not doing it right. It will make sense of something. You can try to rationalize it, but your mind knows that, action gets a reaction, right? So your mind knows this. So the thing that's required, listen, this is why we cannot wait on motivation to do something. The reason why you can't wait on yourself to feel motivated to do something is that motivation actually comes from action. The reason why you don't feel motivated sometimes to work in the business is because you aren't taking action yet. What is required to do the action, we think in our minds, oh, I just need motivation, so I start to do something. Nope, that's not the thing that's required. What's required to do the action first is belief, or I might call it faith. It's that thing that you have to actually believe in something that you cannot see, taste, touch, or hear. You actually have to be able to believe in that in order for you to take action. Okay, so the first thing that's required is belief. Then belief then translates into action, and then action will create motivation to build more. So do not wait on motivation to start doing something. If you're waiting on motivation, you will never do anything. You will never build your dream if you're waiting on motivation. Yeah. All right. That's my first point.
Is that your first point? Okay.
That's my first point.
We're going to have to speed up then because we've gone too long. Okay. Okay, so I've been thinking, because I kind of want to do mine all together, and then you can finish it up.
Okay.
Because mine's is quick. Okay, my 4 points.
Yes, I'll look at our dog.
Oh my gosh, we have this dog that is seriously the most annoying thing that we've So annoying.
Okay. We all have pets. We all have kids, girl. We get it.
Listen, anytime we sit down, he scratches at the door to go outside, even though he's been out like a bunch of times. And then as soon as you let him outside, he's barking at something, and we don't have his bark collar. I was just, anyways. So that's just
what 30 minutes. We do 30 to 40 minutes. So don't feel like you have to like speed talk. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I was just thinking tonight about my 4 points. Like if I were to think back to the very basics of getting started in this business and the 4 basic things that to this day do not change. If you want to grow your business from the very beginning and go all the way to diamond and beyond, these are the 4 things that do not change. And so I just wrote down the things that I felt like were the most pertinent things. But the first thing when I got started in Plexus, and the first thing that I feel like is absolutely vital to your growth is personal growth and development. And for me, this was bigger than anything that I did. And, for one thing, coming into Plexus and even, going to the top, being a leader, whatever, along that whole journey, one of your biggest tips is to be really coachable and teachable. There have been times where my upline and friend have given me tough love saying, I've been like venting about something, and she'll just tell me, well, it's, you're the only person that can change that. And then I realized, okay, I need to grow. This is another growing phase for me. But personal growth for me is being like, from the minute I got started, I would just be watching YouTube video after YouTube video, whether it's on the business, whether it's outside, whether it's leaders in our company, whether it's people that just are all talking about network marketing. But you have got to become a student of this business. You cannot expect to go and be a top-ranking ambassador without going to school. You need to go to school. I can tell you right now, people will look at me 3.5 years later when I'm, speaking at an event or when I'm doing something, and I am a different person than I was 3.5 years ago. So if you can look at your journey and you can think, if you've not changed a whole lot, that's probably one big area that you need to apply yourself in. And, let's listen out all the things that you're afraid of. A lot of times people use their fears as like, that those are just like, those become excuses. Like I'm afraid of talking in public, so I'm not going to talk in public. Well, you can do it afraid. Like, I feel like you can overcome those things as you do it afraid. I'm scared to talk. I'm scared to message people. Well, just do it afraid. I'm scared to, get on the phone, just a cold call somebody that hasn't even asked me about Plexus. Well, just do it scared. I'm scared to talk to a stranger. Well, do it scared. And the more that you do it scared, the more that it becomes not so scary. And so personal growth and development is absolutely the number one thing. From the very beginning till now, we're 3.5 years in, we've had huge success, but even right this moment, I'm going through a new phase of growth in my business. I can tell for myself, I'm being pushed outside of my comfort, because whatever level you've reached in your business, everything you want is outside of your comfort zone. So I don't care how big you get, what you want is always outside of comfort. If you're too comfortable, your business is probably going to stop growing. Your business is probably going to become stagnant. And so if you're stagnant, you probably have become real comfortable in your leadership position. And so you're not stretching yourself beyond that. So you better get personally growing so that you can always be uncomfortable. If you stay uncomfortable, you're going to push yourself to go beyond where you are right now. Okay, the second thing is expand your influence. Okay, from the very beginning, like one thing that just drives me crazy is when we get on the phone with somebody and they are just all distraught because 1 to 2 people said no to Plexus. Or they're distraught because their 1 or 2 people on their list, hasn't replied to them. And my thing is that there is, how many people in the world? I ask them this question every time. 7 billion. There's about 7 billion people in the world. Network marketing is about recognizing that you are always need to be expanding your influence. You always need to be expanding your circle of people. You can't hang up your dreams on 1 to 2 people. You can't judge whether this business is going to work, whether or not your sister joins you in this journey. And people seriously do that. If they're one person they thought that was going to join doesn't join, they give up. But from the minute we got started in Plexus, I was in Florida. I did not live around anyone that I knew. I instantly joined networking meetings. I started doing vendor events. I volunteered at things. I love Eric Worre when he says, become a more interesting you. Always look for the way to expand your circles. And even to this day, we moved 2 years ago, we moved our kids and we moved across the country again to Ohio to be around family now that we could do Plexus from anywhere. So we moved back to a city that we didn't know anyone except for a little bit of family. So again, join a gym. We had to start working things. I volunteered at school, expand your influence. Always look to expand your circles. And if you're doing that, your Franks list will never become stagnant. It will always continue to grow. And this is from the time you join all the way. These are things that don't change. Okay, and then the third thing that does not change is that you always have to have goals, and your goals will determine your daily activity. If you do not have current goals, then you're not going to have anything to get up and start working to. Like if you don't have, I'm going to do this, I'm going to add this many ambassadors this month. Well, if you don't have any goals for yourself, then it's, your goals need to determine your daily activity. And so not the other way around. You don't just do daily activity based on nothing. You have to base it on a goal. So from the very beginning, I had goals. Till right this minute, I have goals and things that I'm working towards, and it creates my daily activity. And then the fourth thing is always be learning to be a better leader and duplication. So, if nobody's following, you're not leading. So if you have a team where people are like, nobody's duplicating, well, that means you probably need to work on your leadership skills. Because if nobody's following, you're not leading. And so if your team's not duplicating, you have to point your finger right back here, because you're the one that creates the duplication process. If your team's not going down, trickling, then you need to go back to the drawing board. Yeah, go back to the drawing board, and you need to do some digging on what you're doing so that they have something that they're following. They will follow the speed of the leader in this business. So anyways, that's my 4 things. From the time you get going till the time that you're double diamond, that will never change. Working on duplication, your personal goals, expanding your influence, and your personal growth. Those things haven't changed. The day I joined till right now, and stay outside of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable, Tim and I know, we were just recently, and then I'll finish. Just recently, we were on vacation, and Tim was talking to somebody, and he just realized, he's like, okay, I feel like maybe I'm a little comfortable. I've been a little comfortable. Like you're always having to push yourself outside of that. And so we had to push ourselves, and realize, okay, we've gotten a little comfortable with ourselves. So then our activity increased, our goals changed. We started, digging into personal growth. I mean, reading some new books. I mean, things change when we recognize our issue, or, that we were a little bit comfortable, and we made ourselves uncomfortable for the sake of change.
Amen.
Done.
So, all right. Michelle hit on a couple of several of the things that I wanted to say for this next point, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it, that you can't drive a car to the moon, okay? At least our current cars, because they're not built for that, all right? You can't drive a car to the moon. What do I mean by that? Well, the moon is those things that you want. It's your dreams. It's all that stuff up there that you have why you're an ambassador in Plexus, why you're even trying to grow a business. But, a lot of us are driving the same vehicle we've been driving for a long time. We haven't changed anything. We're doing things the old way, or some of us, it starts before we even join Plexus. This is something you could say to people who, before they join Plexus, like they're driving their car, but they have all these dreams. Again, I'm talking a lot about dreams because I believe that Plexus has helped me to be able to achieve dreams. So I'm talking about dreams right now for you guys because I want everybody else to achieve their dreams. So you're reaching for these dreams, but you're driving this car. Well, suddenly you find out that there's a rocket ship, and it's called Plexus. Okay? Plexus is a beautiful rocket ship. It was designed to go to the moon. It's designed to take you to your dreams. It has the best compensation plan and the best products in network marketing, hands down. I'm just saying it right now. The best compensation plan and the best products in network marketing. Okay? So it's designed to go to the moon. It's perfect. But there's a problem. There's one problem. It requires rocket fuel. It can't go to the moon without the rocket fuel. Okay? So Michelle was kind of going over some things, and these are some elements, I think, of what the rocket fuel is. The rocket fuel comes from you. You are the rocket fuel. It starts off with the first ingredient in that rocket fuel is your passion. You've got to have a fiery passion for Plexus products and for the business and for other people. You have to have a passion in you to make it happen, okay? And that's the first thing. But passion will only take you so far. It might get you into the upper parts of the atmosphere, but you might just kind of start, spinning around, or you might come back down to the ground if you don't add in the other elements of the fuel, okay? The other elements of the fuel, the next one is you've got to get an education. You've got to teach yourself how this business works, okay? You cannot come into this business as someone I'm assuming the majority of us are brand new to network marketing. Never done anything like this before, right? So you come into this, and you can't come into this there and expect not to have to learn anything and be able to go all the way to the moon. It just doesn't happen. A lot of people come to this and they don't put, Michelle she was saying that she did in the very beginning, she taught herself. She watched YouTube video after YouTube video. Guys, we can't sit and teach everybody all day long what we know. We don't have time for that, and you guys don't have time for that. You got to go out and get it. So get the stuff that you need. Make sure that you go get it, okay? The third thing is that you need to learn leadership. That's the third ingredient in the rocket fuel, leadership. You've got to learn how to get there with other people because you can't get there on your own. Just like Michelle said earlier, you can recruit 300 people to get to Emerald, but really you can't, okay? It's not going to work. And there are people who are meant to be there with you. Get those people there, okay? So learn leadership. And the last thing is just plain old hard work. You've got to be willing to put in the time and put in the effort, make the phone calls, send the messages, meet in person with people, drive when you have to. You've got to put in physical, as I said earlier, action. You've got to put real world action into this. If it's all up here, it doesn't mean anything, right? You can sit and think about it all day long, but if you don't do it out here, it doesn't mean anything. So you've got to work towards those things. And when you do that, that's rocket fuel. And you will lead others in the same way because that's what they need to see. That's what you need to do. All right? So the last thing I want to say, and we'll end this, or you can ask any questions or anything. I'm going to give you guys one thing that you never want to learn. We've talked about a whole bunch of things you need to learn. We've talked about educating yourself. And I'm going to teach you one thing that you never want to learn. I was really good at it one time. I've had to learn to not be good at it anymore, okay? I had to unlearn it. And that is quitting. The one thing you never want to learn how to be good at is being a quitter, okay? Because obviously you're never going to get anywhere if you learn to be a quitter. There's a million things out there that you could do. I used to start something and I'd be 15 minutes into it, I'd be a month into it, whatever, and I would start talking my way out of what I was doing before I really got anywhere with it. I would start thinking of all the reasons why I will never accomplish this, and all the things that could possibly pile up, and they would start to overwhelm me, and I would just decide, I would completely lose any desire to do it before I even got anywhere with it. And so I would quit, or I would start something and I would get so far in it, but then I would give up because I felt like, it was just too hard, or I just told myself I could never do it. So you never want to learn that. If you've learned that, then unlearn it. Don't look at, this is one of the reasons why people learn to be quitters. They look at what other people are doing and accomplishing, and there's two things they look at. They look at the ones who've done it. The problem is that, like, you look at both spectrums, and both of them you can find negative in for yourself. One, you look at the ones who've been very successful, and you tell yourself, well, they have this, 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 and this going for them. That's why they're successful. And then we look at the ones who didn't have success, and we say, well, see, they tried, and they couldn't do it. So what makes me think I can do it? I mean, you know, I'm no better than they are, okay? Look, you can't look at what other people do. I mean, you do to a certain degree use it as a barometer, but honestly, I'm going to tell you something, guys. I don't, and if anybody's looking at me going, well, if Tim can't get to diamond, then, or sapphire, then what makes me think that I can? I mean, he's been doing this for how long? Look, you're doing the wrong thing. Some of you should surpass me. Some of you came into this probably with more than I came into it with, and you should do better than me. Do not look at me. But here's what I do. I assume that I'm going to be able to outperform others. I don't look at anybody else. I just assume that I'm going to outperform other people. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just belief. It's just belief that if I want to and I try hard enough, that I can do it. So that's what you should do. Assume that you can beat me and Michelle. Assume that you can do better than us. Why not? What makes us any better than you? Nothing. Nothing. Okay? So kind of, it might sound like I'm being cocky or whatever, but I'm not. I'm just telling you guys, this is how you should think. This is how we should all think. Assume that you can do it. And so never learn to be a quitter. That's the one thing you never want to learn. All right, so we are, that's about what we have. So we haven't thrown a lot of stuff out there. So
so I love that. You guys talked about a few things that I've been thinking on a lot, which a lot of it is the action and motivation correlation. Because it's, you know, the more you do nothing, the more you're going to want to do nothing. And the more you do something, the more you're going to want to do something, you know, and it is that when you're not motivated, the only thing that gets you there is action. And then things start happening that keep you motivated. And so I love that. That just kind of like hit home with me today. So one thing I know a lot of people, so we do have a lot of newbies and we have a lot of people who've been doing this for a while. And a big thing I've thought about a lot this last month is our network, our sphere of influence with people, and how to intentionally grow that. And I know you talked about a lot of different ways, even just sending Facebook friend requests to people that, you know, the suggested friends list and all that. I know I have a lot of people that are more intentional about that. But when you do reach out to people, and I guess this is more for the newbies that kind of need this info, what do you feel like is kind of your best foot forward, I guess? Is it your product knowledge? Is it your testimony and your story, your passion and your belief? I mean, I know they're all really intertwined. It's kind of hard to separate one from the other. But if you're a new person coming in, you don't know a whole lot, you don't really have your own testimony, you can build your belief from reading the other ones. But I don't know, like, can you decipher? I don't even know what I'm asking, but like, can you get it from all that?
I'll tell you from the very beginning, I'm not great at getting customers. I go after the business builders. Like, I want people to do Plexus with me. Like, I believe in Plexus, and I believe in it as a package deal. Mm-hmm. Like, I believe in it. I mean, we always have customers, so don't hear what I'm not saying. We have customers. We always have 500 PV, so, you know, we're good there. But I'm just saying that, like, before Plexus, I told my friend, I tried the products. I told her they didn't work. I told her the products did not work before I actually joined. And then I joined and I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks. Okay, but I tried it before Plexus and said then felt like the products didn't work. And I feel like it was a mentality thing. Before Plexus, I couldn't imagine paying $100 a month. Like, I didn't know where the money was going to come from, blah, blah, blah. I joined Plexus, and all of a sudden I had possibility. I had opportunities. I started learning about the products. I lost weight and made money. It was like the perfect marriage. So to answer your question, when I contact people, I'm contacting people to talk to them about my passion. And my passion is really team building. Like I love like opening people's eyes to the opportunity. From the very minute I joined, that was my vision. Hey, I need to talk to you. You'd be really good at this. Oh my gosh, yes, we need to talk. Let's do this. Can you give me 10 minutes? I don't have like one message I send out to people, but I always, like I would wake up and I would be like, oh yeah, I remember that person I worked with 10 years ago. And I'd go try to find her on Facebook, and then I'd friend her, and then I'd message her like, hey, I know we haven't talked forever. I thought about you this morning. I need to tell you about something. And that would be my message. And then it would open up that conversation. And then I'd hopefully get on the phone with her. I'm not a big message person. And I think that's been a key to success for me. I actually want to talk to somebody. Like, okay, get me away from messaging. I want to talk to you on the phone. Like, I need to talk to you to tell you about this. And I think that when people rely too heavily on just messages, then they also lose a lot of the steam as well, because that's where your passion can come through and talking.
And I would say that if you're comfortable with messages only, but you're not comfortable talking to somebody, that's an area you have to grow in. That's all there is to it. You're going to have to come out of that comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like a lot of people hesitate on the business. And I think it kind of goes back into what you said with educating yourself on network marketing, because there's the stigma. We're scared to tell people about what we do because of what they might say. And so, I mean, I added like 30-something people when I first started, but I didn't talk to them about the business. I shared the products because I was comfortable with my knowledge on the products, because I'm a science geek and I researched the crap out of the products, and so you believe fully in leading with the business.
I had no product knowledge. Yeah. I was a pink drink you drink once a day, and it worked, period. Like,
we believe fully in leading with whatever's going to bring somebody into Plexus one way or the other, whether it's a customer or as an ambassador, but we do not shy away at all from talking about the business.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I know a lot of people I've been chatting with this about, and we're like, do we tell them about the business up front? Do we wait until they love the products? So, and it's, again, that doing it in fear, we're all nervous about the business, but do it anyway. And you don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like our passion and our beliefs going to come through. So, okay.
I feel like you're doing a disservice to people if you do not tell them about the business, because I don't care who your friends or family are right now on Facebook. One of these days, you're going to all of a sudden get on Facebook and they're going to have joined a network marketing company. It has happened to the people that I would have never, ever, ever, ever suspected would have ever joined me. So I didn't talk to them about Plexus, and then they joined something. So here's the idea. Tell them about the better choice right now before they join a worse company. Like, save them that headache.
We're the best.
Save them.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys. I did not realize how late it was for you guys, so that makes you even more awesome.